And let's bring in MSNBC national security analyst Clint Watts now. Clint, we noted NBC hasn't confirmed this attack. Iran is denying any involvement. A spokesperson for Iran's representative at the UN releasing a statement saying, quote, "We do not accord any credence to such reports. The Iranian government neither possesses nor harbors any intent or motive to interfere in the United States presidential election." End quote. Do you buy it?
With Iran, the answer is definitely not. I mean, if you go back, Anna, to election 2020, some of the most egregious activity came from Iran. Two instances in particular. One was the spreading of a fake email that looked like a Proud Boys member was threatening people if they went to the polls. The second was another one where they set up a website that essentially looked like people in the government were going to be targeted. So that is known and proven. And as we've shown in our report last week, really two different lines of effort that we've seen. One, at least from the cyber perspective, we track Iranian threats. We've done this through the last 2 to 3 years here at Microsoft. A couple of key ones, Albania, Bahrain, and also Israel. We've tracked this threat group that also is sending out spear phishing targeting the U.S. as well. The second part of this is influence activity, which has definitely picked up. The seeding of websites out in the open. This is a common tactic for these groups. They are Iranian groups, and we know that. And so this is consistent with what we've always seen from Iran. So their statement doesn't make sense to me.
What would Iran have to gain by hacking Donald Trump's campaign?
A couple things with that, Anna, and I'll just note, I don't know in terms of anything with the actual potential victims or any customers. All I know is the Iranian threat activity. That's what's in our report. The second thing I just would say is when you look at the election, it's not always for Iran the same as it might be for Russia. Russia, it's all about political influence and political warfare and trying to influence the outcome of the election. For Iran, if you look back 4 years ago, it was a lot about sowing chaos up to and leading to Election Day. They come in very late, right before Election Day. They often try and sow chaos, trying to confuse people about the conduct of the election. So theirs is quite more dynamic and often focuses on fear, stoking fear inside the populace. I don't think it's entirely over yet. We should really keep an eye out for the next 90 days.
And so Dasha mentioned the FBI is simply saying they are acknowledging there are these media reports. Congressman Adam Schiff is calling on the intel community to quickly declassify and disclose information related to this attack, saying, quote, "Transparency is still our best deterrent against foreign influence operations." Clint, do you agree with that? Is transparency important here?
For sure. I think that's why we produced our report. We produced threat activity on Russia, Iran, China. We've done that through 3 reports. We'll have a 4th one coming out in October to try and illuminate to everybody and try and inoculate the U.S. against any interference from foreign adversaries. So we'll be doing that through our reporting. At the same point, we're limited to the threat activity. So we're focused on Russia, Iran, China.
Right.
That's what we monitor every single day, and that's what we can see.
But does the intel community need to address this specific situation? Should they say, here's what we know, as opposed to playing everything close to the vest?
Yeah, in this case, I don't know what they know, Anna, so I can't really speak to them. It's also something that we've seen, prolifically over the last few years. It's people thinking they should or should not respond. But also, remember, if you're the Iranians or the Russians, you're trying to provoke an action by the U.S. government. By simply seeding these things out there, you could provoke a reaction from the intel community. This happened in election 2016. Where different disinformation was put out. The U.S. government didn't have a perspective. If they respond to it, they're actually playing into the campaigns. So unless, I just don't know what they are aware of. But at the same point, their decision to respond can also be a way of confirming or denying disinformation that they actually don't know the answer to as well.
As you mentioned, the intel officials have warned that Iran is just one of several countries, also including Russia, also including China, that will try to sway American voters. Is there anything specific that voters should be watching out for?
Yeah, I think the specific things they should be looking for is, one, do they know what the actual source of the information is that they're receiving? Especially in social media, people tend to take in a lot of information that they might not otherwise believe if they're scared or if they're in the middle of a competition like an election. Second is just not knowing the source, but also where the source is actually located. Oftentimes we see, particularly with Russian disinformation websites, but Iranian as well, people don't realize that the information that they're reading, they may know the source, they may know the website, they don't realize where it's operated from. And that oftentimes is overseas. trying to influence the U.S. election. So those two things, who's the source, what organization or person, and where are they physically located, that's the same thing we do here at NBC.
Yep.
We announce our names. You're there, from NBC studios. You need that same sort of information and fidelity when you're in the online environment as well.
Got to vet. There's so many information avenues out there. It's important to know where it comes from, as you mentioned. Thank you very much, Clint Watts.